Hello and welcome back to the podcast. I'm Michael.
I'm Noah.
We are the Knights of Entertainment, a podcast covering your favorite and unknown movies, games, comic books, anime, and more weekly. We appreciate you being here and hope you enjoy the show. This is what we are covering tonight.
I'm covering the sometimes you just fuck up. I'm covering the 2015 movie The Big Short.
Oh, but before we do, like, share, and subscribe to the channel. You can enjoy the show on YouTube, Spotify, Rumble, Odyssey, and more. We also have membership tiers on those platforms if you'd like to support the channel, or you can check out buymeacoffee.com/KOE podcast.
All right, so The Big Short is basically, it's based on a true story, which when a movie is based on a true story, it's almost always completely dramatized to fit the narrative of the story, because real life isn't story-esque, you know. Like if you're in real life, you're like you tell someone a real life story, but you're telling them history, and history does not fit a story book format. It'd be like, and then the alligator jumped through the window. And you're like, what do you mean? What the fuck are you talking about? But you believe it because it happens. That was a story that happened.
A Florida man.
The fucking Florida man stories are wild as fuck. And okay, so it's the 2015 movie, The Big Short, about the 2007 housing market crash. Just what you've seen it? Have you seen The Big Short? Fucking fabulous movie. Like I watched that shit.
I mean, to be fair, it's been a long time, but yeah.
It was like 11:55 at night, right? I'm like, should I go to bed or should I make bad choices? So I went on Netflix. Now let's watch a movie.
Bad choices it is.
Yeah, let me stay up till 4 a.m. and fucking crash tomorrow morning. I wasn't expecting it to just like hit as hard as it did, but this movie is, if you're trying to make a screenplay, this is the type of movie you watch, because there is no fat on this movie.
Yeah.
Every scene, it gets to the point and it moves on. There's no lingering. There's no over exposition. There's no fancy dialogue. It's to the point. You move forward. To the point. Move forward. That's any scene. You have to start at the end. Think about what your goal is in that scene and move to the next scene. I was watching an episode of The Walking Dead and that shit just kept fucking dragging and drag. I love The Walking Dead, but some of those scenes just fucking drag and fucking drag, and I'm just like, my God. Like they just drag. I'm watching Shane lick Lori's belly button, and I'm like, it's just taking too long. So if you watch this movie, if you just you get to the point, move on. So basically, it follows three groups of people. It follows. I should tell you who. First of all, it's based on a book, The Big Short by Michael Lewis, which I ordered because I got to read it now. It was $1 and like fucking $6 tax, so it's $7. It's like a $6 shipping and handling. That's how they do it. Like, oh, this book's only $1, $57 shipping and handling. I'm like, god dang. So Michael Lewis wrote it. It's a journalist, so it's a true story, just not the fictionalized version in the movie.
Right.
The screenplay was by Charles Randolph and Adam McKay, who also directed it. Adam McKay also directed the movie. I'm trying to memorize screenwriters now for movies, so if I want to make my own screenplay, if I actually reach the ones that I actually like, he makes good movies. Oh, he writes good movies. You know what I mean? All right, so it is. So it follows who's starring it. So the star is Christian Bale. It's an ensemble, so it's Christian Bale, Steve Carell, Ryan Gosling, and Brad Pitt. And each of them are in their own separate groups. So we start with Scion Capital. It's the actor that come all fucked all over the place. I'm so tired. It's Scion Capital. Played by the character is Michael Burry, played by Christian Bale, and he runs Scion Capital, this hedge fund. He's a hedge fund manager. He runs his money for these people, and he, I guess, picks what places to send the money to invest for them and generate more money for him. So he's like, he somehow, for some reason, he figures out that the housing market is about to fucking collapse when they default in 2007. So he's like, he has this fucking grand plan to short the housing market. And everyone says that it's the most stable thing out there. Like their tagline is, "Who's not going to pay their mortgage?" So that is the fucking. That's what they believe. All these banks, all the lame people, everybody. That's what everyone believes. The housing market is fucking impenetrable.
I see. I remember that too.
Yeah, remember what they were saying? All that.
No, like not just the movie, but that happened in real life.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
So they're like, it's fucking infallible. And so he's like, wait a minute, because he's one of those like super socially awkward like geniuses with math. So he's like putting numbers together in his head, and he figures out that if he takes out these loans. Right, so he creates a credit default swap market, allowing him to bet against or short market-based mortgage-backed securities for profit. And so he just goes to all these banks.
So basically what he was doing is how there's a couple of these big companies like with GameStop where they were trying to short GameStop, saying that it's worth less. Like where
is that why that's controversy popped up?
Yeah.
Oh,
it didn't have to do with that specifically,
right.
But that was the same idea. They were trying to short GameStop because all these investors thought that, okay, if we take out a loan and give everybody this amount of money, we're going to make money whenever they lose a bunch of money.
Right.
And then all these people came in with Wall Street bets and stuff like that.
That's
from Reddit.
That was a couple of years, wasn't it?
Yeah.
A couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Or was it last year?
It's
very recent.
Yeah, it's very I can't remember.
Because it was all over the
last
news.
year.
People are losing their shit.
Yeah, because I sold off right before all that happened, which sucked.
Oh, yeah, you told me. You were like, fuck.
But Wall Street Bets came in, and that's where the Diamond Hands meme came from.
Oh,
because people that bought it, it's like, no, just buy more, because then it raises the price back up again. And then all those people in those companies that were, like I think there was BlackRock and a few of the others, they came in trying to make money, and they ended up losing a fuck ton of money. Because they couldn't pay back everything that they had bet against.
That's fucking wild.
That's why you don't bet against companies like that.
Because they will figure out a way to fuck you over.
Well, it was like the type of thing where, aside from this, people actually had a recourse to come back. It's like, fuck the big banks.
Oh, yeah.
We'll beat them at their own game.
They were wrong, weren't they?
No, they won.
The companies or the people?
No, the people did, for the most part.
Against GameStop?
Against the companies that were betting against GameStop.
Oh, good for them.
So there's people that became close to billionaires from it.
Damn.
Yeah.
All right, so Michael Burry. I'm going to say their actual characters. It's fucking Christian Bale. Goofy as fuck Christian Bale in this movie.
Before Batman.
Yeah. Or 2015, maybe after.
Oh, that's after Batman. Yeah.
So his long-term bet exceeds $1 billion of his investors' money, and they fucking flip out on him. Like, that's all their money. The guy that got him started, basically, Lawrence Fields, is like, have you lost your fucking mind? You can't bet against the banks. He even said the line, who's gonna not pay their mortgage? And so Christian Bale practically has to put a cease on withdrawals of their money, because he has to keep paying the premiums on all these loans because he figured out in like 05, 06. So he would have to keep paying these loans out until it defaulted in 07. He was doing a long-term bet. So, but he needed their money to keep it going, to keep paying, because if he couldn't pay the premiums, I guess he defaults himself. So he's like, he pretty much, and everyone, they're all suing the shit out of him. Everybody that invested with this fucking hedge fund is just losing their shit on him. And so that's pretty much what he's going through the whole movie. So then Ryan Gosling is listening to so this guy walks up to this one banker is sitting down having drinks, because he just closed a deal with Christian Bale's character, because he worked at the bank there, and this other guy talks to him, and he's like, you won't believe what this guy just did. He's gonna short the housing market. He's like, what? Who doesn't pay their mortgage? Like, it's just that line all over this fucking movie. I swear to God.
Because it's true. Most people think that.
Yeah, so then this guy goes up to the bar, and Ryan Gosling's like, what the fuck he's so happy about? And he's like, oh, you hear this? He's talking about how this guy that he just bought these, he pretty much invented, Christian Bale's character pretty much invented the credit default swap, because it didn't exist at the time, I guess, is what they were saying. So Ryan Gosling gets this like this fucking flashlight in his eyes, like money signs. Like, wait a minute, what? So he finds out about it, and then he starts offering different people, different like hedge funds, investment firms, everybody, credit swap. to short the banking market or the housing market, and nobody bites except for Steve Carroll. Steve Carroll and his team, they let's see, they because Ryan Gosling runs Deutsche Bank, or he doesn't run it, but he's a banker in the bank, and he's trying to do the same thing for other people, and he ends up meeting. I should have probably prepared more. So he ends up meeting Steve Carroll, who has his own little team, and they got like maybe 50 million or something. They have a lot of money too, but not to the level of Christian Bale. And at first they don't believe him, right? Because Steve Carroll is like one of those. Here's how they describe Steve Carroll's character. Basically, when he was a kid, he really read the Quran, like he read it deeply, and it turned out he read it because he was looking for a mistake in God's word. He's the type of person that reads the fine print within the fine print. So he didn't believe when Ryan Gosling was telling him that if this was going to happen, that the housing market was going to default in 2007, and all of the shit was going to collapse. So he did some research. He went to Florida. Him and his team went to Florida. They went to a convention. They went to a strip club, and Steve Carroll was talking to this woman. And she was you can see her titties and everything, but at that moment you're so invested in the movie you don't even think about it, you know.
You didn't think about it? Wow.
Hey, believe me, when I deeply invest in something else, everything else is like a tunnel vision. And she's saying that he's telling her like all this is happening with like, you know, in 2007 when all these mortgages default, you're fucked, right? And she's like, on all my loans? And he's like, how many loans do you have? Like, I got 5 houses. And he's like, so that stripper's fucked. And so Steve Carroll finally realizes this is true, that this is what's going to happen. So he tells his second in command, like basically, to all right, buy those shares from Ryan Gosling. By the way, Ryan Gosling, he's the character. He's the one in the whole movie. Like every time you see him on screen, he takes the whole fucking scene. He's just that good. He's so fucking funny. And like I know that character wasn't as funny until he got there. I can already tell. He added some of his own shit. So the guy calls him, the second in command calls Ryan Gosling, and he's just as skeptical as Steve. So he asks him one question, like, is this legit? Like, what do you get out of this? And Ryan Gosling's like, all right, let me be real honest with you. This is 100% legit. The fucking market's going to crash in 2007. That's going to happen. You guys are going to make a buttload of money. But when you do, I'm going to be coming for my stake of that money. Basically, he's betting on them to make money so he can get money back. He makes like 47 million. Like they even showed a check with 47 million on it. And he's like, he even talks directly to the camera. He talks directly to the camera, like, yeah, he's like, I'm not the bad guy here. I'm just a guy coming out to make some money. Like he's over here just wiping his check. 47. I don't know if you can even write a check for $47 million. It's the weirdest shit I've ever seen. But there's a lot of fourth wall breaks that Ryan Gosling talks to you. It's fucking hilarious. All right, so that's their team. They're doing their thing. So then these two guys named Charlie Geller and Jamie Sheplin, they run a very small firm called Brownfield Capital. And but by the way, all these are fictional characters that they had to base off of real people from the book, basically. Mm-hmm. So they run a small firm out of their garage, and they started with $110,000 that they generated into $30 million. So they're legit too, but they're still small time. They're trying to get an ISDA qualification to be able to do higher loans or whatever, or higher. I'm not a banker. I have no idea what the fuck they're talking about. I'm just so involved. I was hard as fuck watching this. You'd be surprised the random shit that interests me.
The most the only kind of movie that you've watched about finances where it's like, I fucking like this.
Yeah, like I'm just like, man, tell me more. I don't know what's going on, but I'm invested. And so they're at this fucking bank trying to get that ISDA loan, or that ISDA qualification, and they fail because they need like a minimum like trillion in like assets or some shit. They only have 30 million, so they're like, fuck. And then they find one of I guess Ryan Gosling's like charts for the credit swap short, and they're like, "What? Look!" They find it on the table because they're in the lobby. They didn't even get to go to the office to talk to the people. They send some guy in the lobby to tell them fuck off in the nicest way possible. And right here at this moment, the scene stops, and Ryan Gosling says, like, okay, they didn't actually find this paper laying in. That's not how it happened in real life, but for the movie, that's how it happened. Like, they didn't just find a piece of paper, and then it completely changed their trajectory of what they're gonna do. That's the first time I've seen someone actually legit say this is a story element, not real life.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, and finally, all the bullshit. Don't sell me bullshit and expect me to eat it like a cereal.
Yeah.
So that for the story plot, they found that piece of paper, or that portfolio. It was like a presentation, and
basically it was a backroom deal, but they can't say that in the movie.
Yeah, something like that. And so they take it back, and they're like, "Whoa, this is like they're running the numbers too." And one of the guys, I don't know if it's, I'm gonna just say it's Charlie Geller, or one of them is friends. He's neighbors with Brad Pitt, who his character used to be a legit Wall Street banker, like the cutthroat, leaving dead bodies all over Wall Street type of banker.
Yeah.
But he got so disenfranchised, disillusioned that he did away with, like, I can't. This is the most immoral fucking thing ever, and he left. Like, he's rich as fuck. He's a genius, the banker. You know, he's got super credentials. So they go to him because he's got more, credibility than they do, because they're young upstarts. And they're like, Brad Pitt, will you help us? He's like, I will help you on this journey. So he's so low key, like, you don't even realize it's Brad Pitt, because he's got a beard, his hair's like, but it's Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
So they buy shares. So now fucking Steve Carell's group with Ryan Gosling, Christian Bale, Batman, and these two upstarts with Brad Pitt, they're like the only three groups in the entire world or America that knows that the fucking housing market's gonna crash in 2007, and they're trying to get the credit swap thing to fucking take a profit, right? So that's pretty much that's the whole movie. Now, toward the end of Act 2, Steve Carell, the Brad Pitt group, they realize because they go to a conference of bankers and like housing market, all this, like this really weird ass conference. I guess everything has a conference. So like housing market, real estate, whatever has a conference. They go to Las Vegas, and they're talking to various people, and they're trying to figure out whether they're evil, because they're basically taking subpar loans, and they're bundling like you're taking C loans.
Subprime mortgages was the big thing during that.
That's it. Yeah, subprime. That's what they're doing. They're taking really shitty loans, putting them together, and saying they're AAA level.
And they were giving them to people that could not pay them back in any way possible.
Exactly. They were giving it to fucking everybody. Mm-hmm. They were like just writing checkbooks out. It seemed like it's exactly what happened, and they realized that, right? And then Steve Carell realizes something really bad. He realized, wait, this is gonna crash the economy. And he just he realizes that. Brad Pitt realized that a while ago, but he didn't say anything, because the two guys were dancing, because they had just got more shares.
Yeah,
they were able to get AA loan shares to bet against, right? And they're like, don't dance. You know what this means? You know what happens after every time 1% of unemployment rises? Like 40,000 people die. I'm like, God, Brad Pitt, what are you talking about? Just don't dance. Like, he was so calm about it, but he was upset with them. Like, don't celebrate.
Don't celebrate the money that you're getting right now.
Yeah, because you're gonna crush a lot of people's lives. I guess it's not really their fault. They're just betting against the market, and they won. I mean, it's not like if I was betting, so if this guy at the surgery is gonna die or not.
But it's more of the morality of it.
Yeah.
Like, you're profiting off, extreme profiting.
Yeah, they were, man, and it's funny because at first they were all losing, because the banks were lying. Mm-hmm. Like they defaulted, and those loans were unpayable, and but they wasn't showing on the actual face value. So the banks were lying their asses off at first until they couldn't.
Yeah.
And when they fucking crashed, Brandfield Capital, those two guys, they made $84 million out of the 30 that they invested. So they made a small firm. They made a nice chunk of change for themselves. It's funny because they asked Brad Pitt because he did most of the heavy legwork. He's like, Brad, I know how you feel about the banks and how you think it's immoral and you never wanted to be back in that world, but why do you help us when we asked? And Brad Pitt just looked, Brad Pitt just like, well, you guys wanted to get rich, huh? That's his answer. You guys wanted to get rich, so he helped them get rich.
Yeah.
I mean, $84 million split between them and their investors. Probably a nice chunk of change for them.
Yeah.
So Steve Carell, they invested like $50 million. Then they bought like 100 million shares. I can't remember, but their shit came out to like $1 trillion. Steve Carell's character made like $400 million. Like he was set for life, but he was so fucking devastated morally because of like, from what they said at the end of the movie, it's like 8 million people lost their jobs and like 6 million people lost their homes.
Yeah.
I'm like, God dang, I don't remember that at all. Because I was too young.
It was bad.
Yeah, I heard.
That was when we were in high school.
It must have. I guess my parents did well because we didn't lose our house. Thank God for that. But yeah, like from going back and seeing it now, in retrospect, it was fucking horrendous.
Very, very bad. That's also around the same time that the industry, like the car industry, the automobile industry, when they had to be helped whenever Obama became president.
Oh, the bailouts?
Yeah, that's all part of it.
Yeah, they got bailed out. The banks
Which
got
I
bailed out.
don't think they should have been.
Everybody got fucking bailed out.
Yeah, they shouldn't have been.
They had to be.
No, they didn't.
Because all the people had their fucking 401ks and pensions.
But they never got anything back anyway. So
they still lost?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
People lost their 401ks completely.
Bitch.
That's why I said bailing the banks out didn't do anything. Whenever a company becomes too big to fail, it's too big of a company.
Damn.
Because if it's something that, we can't let it fail because it does this, it does that.
Well, shit,
you let it get too big then.
Imagine if Walmart fucking crashed.
Yeah, but you still have Target, you still have Amazon.
Fuck Target.
You got Dollar Tree, Dollar Store.
Dollar Tree's all you got. So, all right, so out of the big ones, Christian Bale's character, he invested $1 trillion. That motherfucker made him back $2.9 trillion. The guy Lawrence Fields, the guy that was fucking about to have his head, he's like, I want my money back. I want my money back. He went to his firm, sat down like, I want my money back. What he said? He said, Michael, I want my money back. He was so mad at him, and he made him personally $489 million back. He's like, by the way, you're welcome. And then Christian Bale walked off into the sunset. He fucking quit. they all lost their fucking minds.
Yeah.
Like they were. It's so weird seeing people in the middle of something that they know is happening that no one else is even privy to, and it's like it makes you feel like you're in that moment too. Is what made the movie so good. I felt like I was with them, right? It's like, man, we gotta get this money, but if we did, we're gonna fucking the whole world.
The morality of it all.
Yeah, but I'm like, I'm still rich. I still gotta have a house. So why can't I be rich?
You know what the real crazy part is? The person that was the main, I think it may have been the Christian Bale character. The real guy is actually shorting the U.S. bonds right now.
He's still at it?
Yeah.
I thought he was working only on water. That's what it said at the end of the movie.
No, at that time maybe, but now he's shorting the government basically in the bond system.
Oh no! What the fuck does he know now that we don't?
Exactly. Like he thinks apparently that the U.S. government and overall the U.S. economy is going to collapse.
That son of a bitch. He's probably right too.
I know. That's
scary. Yeah.
I've seen that recently within the last 5 months.
That motherfucker. Yeah, fuck us again.
I think he said he has a $40 billion stake against the.
Where the fuck did he get $40 billion? Russia, you son of a bitch. It's a good movie, man. It's crazy. I didn't explain it too well, but you get the gist of it. You can go watch it.
Yeah, and knowing coming out of high school and everything, how expensive houses were at that time, and
they sure haven't gotten any less expensive.
No, but that's another thing with a lot of the people that have been buying real estate and stuff like that during the pandemic stuff, even where it's like, oh well, we'll buy it and we'll turn around and try to resell it for like 5 times the amount and stuff. The problem with that, though, is that the market's already starting to go down. So,
luckily, I got a house.
Yeah.
I mean, not this house. This is my parents' house. But my parents got me a house. It's a real shithole. I got to rebuild it. My grandpa lives in it right now.
But I'm just saying, like, the people that were trying to take advantage of that whole housing market ballooning, basically, it's on its way to collapse at the moment. So
who's not going to pay their mortgage?
Yeah. That's the dumbest line that a bank could ever say.
Oh, by the way, there was 3, like, they wanted to have these, like, moments where they explain something like high level economic concepts with actors that were like popular. I mean, they're still really popular at the time right now. Like Selena Gomez was talking about something with blackjack as a correlation or a what's the word, like a mirror, a parallel to the economy story she's trying to tell. I don't remember what the fuck she was talking about. She was betting that she was going to win the blackjack. That's what it was. She was betting that she was going to win the blackjack hand. And then someone behind her was betting that she was going to win against someone else. It's like, I'll take that bet. And someone was betting that the bet that they bet for Selena Gomez was also going to win. So that person took a bet against that person. So when Selena failed, that person failed. And then the person behind them failed too. Was basically the concept. I'm still confused on the concept.
And that's the way a lot of the banks do too, where they assume that since they're going to do good, I'm going to do good. And then when they fail, and they fail, and they fail.
Yeah. And then they had Anthony Bourdain. He was trying to teach me subprime loans, and he was a perfect teacher, by the way. He was like, all right, say I'm getting my menu for the weekend, right? And I buy a bunch of halibut because I think that's going to be the big seller for the weekend. But then maybe during the weekend, an article comes out saying that halibut's just as smart as dolphins, or that they're connected to cancer growth. So I don't sell as much halibut that weekend as I thought. So now I got a bunch of leftover halibut. So what I do I throw it out, or do I figure something else with that? Well, I can't throw it out. So what I do is I chop it up and I throw it into a stew. And Monday morning, you got yourself some fish stew with 3-day-old halibut. That's how he was saying, like, instead of letting the loans throw them out, they combine them into those subprime loans, and then they just sold them as like AAA, those dirty motherfuckers, AAA loans.
Because whenever they're doing those subprime mortgages and stuff like that, they would do it for people that they knew they could not afford them and repay them, but then they would repackage them and then sell them to a bigger company.
Yeah, they're so fucking good. Hey.
Yeah, and then why do you think so many people went into default and foreclosure and stuff like that?
That's why 6 million people lost their homes.
I think this is probably the most intellectual conversation that we've had on this podcast about economy.
Hey, we're very smart. We just pretend we're dumb as fuck. I can't articulate well what I want to say, but my thoughts are profound. The day I can, right, I might have people jizzing in their pants. Like, God, he's so fucking smart.
I just meant that they're not used to this from anything that I've covered. So.
Oh. We can do it all, people. Oh yeah, so the third one was Margaret Robbie. She was in a bubble bath, and she was. I don't remember what she's talking about actually. I'm sorry, but I don't remember anything she said. I was trying to see if a titty will pop out.
You didn't get that lucky though, did you?
No. She was drinking champagne. She was saying something in her Australian accent, which is much better than her English accent. Yeah. She's Australian, but she's got to use it in English for certain movies. And I was like, I don't remember what the fuck she was talking about. It was something about banking. I don't remember what I remember Anthony Bourdain. I remember Selena Gomez. I don't remember Margaret Robbie. They titillated her too much to the point that it blinded you. Yeah. Yes, I know what I'm saying.
Trying to use a play on words here.
They should have had her like punch in a boxing bag or something, or just jogging, or just sitting in an office like a teacher. But they had her in a fucking bubble bath.
They knew what they were doing.
They knew what they were doing, but they completely they missed the point because I don't know what the fuck they.
That was the point of it.
No, it wasn't. They were trying to tell me something economic.
No, they wanted your focus to change.
I think it had to do with something with the champagne too. Like it was refilling. Like fuck, what the fuck was she talking about? Margaret Robbie, call me and let me know. Let me know what you were talking about. Let's have a personal one-on-one conversation.
Yeah, she don't remember what it was either. Don't worry.
Oh, she's very smart. She remembers. She remembers.
She remembers the lines. She'll just repeat them.
Yeah, basically, just send me a bubble bath scene, a remake of the bubble bath scene, and just tell me what happened. Oh man, it's crazy, man. What happens in the world that we don't know about?
Oh yeah, and you only know about it years after.
Years after the fucking calamity happened. Mm-hmm. Well, that's it for today.
Nothing else to add.
If you watch it, you watch out for Ryan Gosling. That man he's jacked to the tits. Yeah, I'm jacked to the tits right now. If you get to that scene, you know what I mean.
All right. Well, I guess we will see you guys on the next one.
More movies. I might do the Hanzo trilogy.